With me now is Christian Leuprecht, professor at the Royal Military College and Queen's University and senior fellow at the Macdonald-Laurier Institute. Professor, welcome. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure, Renee.
Now, Mark Carney and other Western leaders saying today the U.S. peace plan for Ukraine needs more work. Your interpretation of that?
Look, I think so. European allies are happy that people are talking about the prospects of some sort of a ceasefire, and we definitely need a plan to get us there. But clearly the indications are that this is a framework that requires, on the one hand, a lot more detail. And I would say some of the parts of the frame of this framework are not workable either for Ukraine or for European leaders. If you look at the statement, it clearly ties Ukrainian security to European security. And so signaling to the Trump administration that the idea that Russia and the U.S. can cut a deal and force that deal onto Ukraine is not happening. And the European Union has signaled that it is prepared to continue to support Ukraine. So the idea that even if the United States were to kind of walk away, for instance, from all support for Ukraine, that the European is sufficiently robustly postured that they could continue to help Ukraine stay in the fight.
There's something that Vladimir Zelensky said yesterday that really stood out. He said Ukraine might face a very difficult choice, either losing its dignity or risk losing a key partner, referring to the U.S. Your thoughts? Does Ukraine have any other option than to go along with this U.S. peace plan?
So, look, the U.S. holds most of the cards in this game, as Trump sort of repeatedly reinforces, and the importance of having the U.S. there to even cut a deal. Putin holds some of those cards, and Zelensky holds one card, which is essentially the veto player card, that he can say, I'm not going to accept that deal. And he'll say he's not going to accept that deal because this deal is not acceptable for Ukraine in terms of preserving its sovereignty. And we've always said that Ukraine needs to make a decision based on its own sovereign best interests. And so this is what the European Union is emphasizing here. At the same time, look, I mean, we need to start somewhere with these conversations. And it's clear that Russia is probably not going to walk away from the territory that it currently occupies. So we know how this is going to end. It's likely going to be like East and West Germany after World War II, where there will be some sort of occupation of Ukraine, but Western countries will not accept that occupied territory as part of Russia. And we can hope that some years or decades down the road, Ukraine is actually going to get its full territorial integrity back.
Now, Ukrainian and U.S. officials, as well as European security advisors, meeting tomorrow in Switzerland to discuss the plan. What will you be watching for?
There's been a lot of military involvement. So clearly Trump is getting very clear advice on what Ukraine is and is not able to do. And they have a very good sense of what Russia is and is not able to achieve. And so the opportunity, I think, here is to talk on the one hand, what is everybody's overall effect and strategy, but at the same time, what is realistic in terms of the operations? And it's clear that the United States wants to settle this war because it is a distraction from the challenges in the Indo-Pacific, and in particular the challenge of containing China, and that the U.S. is stretched trying to do both, plus the other priorities that the Trump administration has. So it's much more important for the Trump administration to find some sort of a deal than for Ukraine and the European Union to cut a good deal. And so finding an ability to find a common denominator is going to be difficult, but I think we're getting closer. But of course, we've been at this since February with starts and stops along the way repeatedly. So, you know, we shouldn't put too much stake into what's currently happening.
Some interesting points you have brought up. We will have to leave it there. Professor, thank you very much.
My pleasure, Renee. Thank you.
Take care. That's Christian Leuprecht, professor at the Royal Military College and Queen's University and senior fellow at the Macdonald-Laurier Institute.